So we have taken to the skies and we are quite high up. Obviously you can see my base down there, very high up from the ground. And today we are finally going to take on building my breeding temple, which I have mostly set up. All I gotta do is basically build it up. Let me just show you from below. So it's an 18 by 18, all adobe, and we have a Carno over there, which I just want to say I didn't really pick up on it until most recently when I was building. Spike walls are great against Carnos, Raptors, Sabertooths, all those little things. But anything bigger than them, like Rexes, even my Margasaurus, which I accidentally just ran over the spikes, not thinking I could get over them with them, but I could. So in that respect, since I didn't want to deal with everything getting broken further, especially Adobe because of how brittle it is, I went ahead and built up an entire stone wall exterior. So that way the wall of stone keeps the Rexes out because they're 4 high and nothing gets past that. Not even like the big guys, which I guess a Giga maybe because it's stone. Even if it can't reach over, it can still break it. But there ain't no Giga spawn in here, so we're all good there. Now, in terms of my design, again, it's going to be a temple, so we have to essentially use walls and ceilings, and that'll pretty much get the shape because it's mostly rectangular. Like, it's a boxy structure. It's not really curved or anything like anything else you would see, in case you never saw a pyramid or anything like that, or a temple rather, from the olden days ever in your life. So if that is the case, then here's a bit of a history lesson for you. So in terms of just a couple little things, which I guess by planting a trough, or rather putting a trough, all these plants and obviously wild dino spawns, they will eventually be unspawned from this immediate area. So there is that benefit of having this ginormous build right here. And really that's it. So now we just kind of get things going. But if you do enjoy this at any point, do feel free to hit the like button and show your support by also subscribing to the channel if you come back here regularly and or enjoy the content that I put out. Not just ARK, I also just did Peak not too long ago. It's been about, I want to say a month now, but perhaps there will be a couple more Peak videos in the future. We'll see. Everything is relatively new to me. I have a lot to do in between then and now. So we'll see if I even get to it, but hopefully I am able to put a couple more hours into that gameplay. My other channel is starting to kick off, the music channel, RHG Beats. I'll show it right now and put a quick link to it in the description. Very great stuff. It's all the stuff I had before and more. So definitely do check that out if you enjoy music and trivia and just other things like mixes and all that stuff that I do there. So that's going to be where all the music stuff is. Now this is a complete 100% gaming channel. So thank you for everyone who has suggested that everywhere that I've spoken to them. Appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into this building. So, first and foremost, building a pyramid. I think I'm going to have a couple of layers out. So I'm going to probably just... Is that the right way or the wrong way? Nope, that is the wrong way. We have to flip that. The walls have to go... What is it? Q? Yeah. So we're going to have one foundation out, so that way it essentially will look like this from, well, it's hard to see, but you'll see it when the light hits on the other side. So basically we just got to bring this thing entirely around, which is going to be a little annoying, but damn it, just as I say it, it's going to be very annoying because they're clipping to the foundations, which is good, but they're clipping to the wrong parts of the foundation, which is not good. So it's going to make this a whole tedious process, which I don't mind doing. It's just going to be probably skipped around and cut up. Damn it, I did it again. Yeah, I'm just probably going to wind up cutting this up into bits. Still within one episode because there's no point in dragging this out into more than one. But in terms of like the actual fun stuff of the base, which again, I went ahead and tamed up a bunch of new Omegasauruses, new Dinopithecus, some more Stenomacrops. Like, we got a bunch of things that I want to breed up and get some crazy levels and stacks on, especially going into the boss fights, which I'm almost there. It's essentially just a matter of finding artifacts because for the most part, like, I'm going to do each level, so Gamma, Beta, and Alpha. I have all the means, like, for the most part. I need a couple of water tamed, or rather, well, I do need a water tame, but why can't I snap this right? Thank you. In terms of like the actual artifacts, I only need, I think, like the Suthia, the giant squid. I need, I think, one of its tentacles. In terms of megalodons, really easy to get, so not difficult at all. And for, I want to say the alpha, I also need basilisk venom or whatever, basilisk scale, which isn't difficult to get. I know where they spawn. They're in the volcano region, which literally is right over there. So it's not at all a challenge to acquire. It's just a matter of finding them, because I've been only able to find the 2 that spawned when I was taming the Megaceros, or trying to tame those Megaceroses, which kind of didn't work out the way I intended it to. Why can't I snap? Oh yeah, this one spot, I don't know why I couldn't build a normal foundation. Oh, is it gamma up, or is that just me? Nope, just me. I couldn't like get this snap point here for some dumb reason. The foundations I literally could get all around, all over, but this one here, for whatever reason, probably because it was too close to the ground, it's fine. I wound up putting a ceiling there, which is gonna pretty much be hidden from view. Like, it's not hidden, like it's technically exposed, but it's really not that, you know, visible when you're looking at it from the entrance point, which I think the entrance is gonna be either there or there. I'm not quite sure yet. But realistically, every side is an entrance point. So technically, there's really no specific spot, and we already filled up with what we had. So now I need to grab some more foundations. Let me go ahead and get some over here. Not foundations, walls, I mean. We have a decent array of things. Not a whole lot, but it'll do the trick for the most part. As long as we could get everything filled up, that is. I at least want to see how one layer will look, because then I got to build the ramps up, and then every so often build up a new level. Because my intention and my plan, in case I haven't mentioned it prior to, or in case you have forgotten, what I really want to do is have the bottom floor for the big creatures. So say like wyverns, the Megaceros especially, you know, big creatures like that. Even Rexes if I do that, but we'll see. The second layer would be the medium size, so the Deinopithecus, Raptors, Sabertooth, you know, like in that category. And then the top layer is going to be for the very small creatures, which mainly for what I see in this series is going to be Sonomicrops. There's really no other small creatures that I personally am planning to set out and tame and breed and do a whole big thing for. Like, could I? Yeah. But what am I going to do? Compies, Dillos, Dodos, like, maybe for the fun of it, I might just do one of them, but I really don't need it. This I do need, because like I showed you, I was able to get really high. I mean, stamina is what? Almost 3,000, a little over. And then the weight, I think I have 4,000, which I didn't realize. I thought this was only an ASE option. When you have the Sonomicrops attached to you, or rather on your shoulder, you hit R like you would in ASA, and you could access the inventory and do all the screams and everything, which is very cool and very, very handy. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and get some ramps down, and we are gonna have to put this on you, and maybe some more ceilings as well. How bad are we on weight? You know, we'll take half, put the other half away. That should be fine. Yeah, we're good. All right, and now we can move freely. So now that we are gonna focus on an 18 by 18, so it's an even 9 and 9 basically for getting it middle, so I can build the ramps symmetric and even. So we have to go count to 9. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're gonna put a ramp here, which I believe we can probably start it here and bring it down, which I did test prior to. These will do the stairs, so everything will look how it's supposed to. Let me just make sure that is even. So we got, actually, let me just make my life a little easier. Let me just build like the double side. I was at first thinking of doing a 1 ramp, like a single wall of ramps, if you will, because which will be easier, let me just do the model selector. Once I do a little bit of this, and then we let that render in for a second. Alright, it's not terrible. I gotta definitely raise this one up, this side. So I'm gonna have to hopefully not destroy these. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna have to build the bottom, or rather take the bottom one. And then I can take the middle, so I'll snap it off to the higher one. So that way, A, it's symmetrical, and B, that looks right, I want to say. Let's see. No, that's still snapping wrong. Hold on a second. Why is that not snapping to the right point? You know what? I'll deal. It's fine. So now we're going to proceed to the highest point, or rather we'll see how high I can get. We'll go, how far in do I want to go? Well, if we changed it, well, let me just switch this and that. It feels really bright today. Like, it's crazy. Alright, that's a little easier to see everything. Although it's a bit tinted out, like, it's just the bloom is crazy. So this isn't terrible. Okay. So I think about here, we gotta go higher, I feel. Because if we're being realistic, the big guys are gonna be in the middle, so we might go, what is that? Technically, maybe every 6. So we got 1, 2... I want to say that's 6. It's easier to track it like this. Well, it would have highlighted it, so it would have made it easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, now it's just really dark. Alright, we'll have to deal. So we go maybe one more. Like so. And then we'll do the same over here. And then we'll switch these all over, like so. And that's pretty good there. And once we're up here, we will go ahead and drop some ceilings, but I have to build it up first. So we will go ahead and just do a couple of these just so I could see it. Is my bloom up? Hold up. Nope, bloom is perfectly off, so it's just a bright day. Alright, so now that we got that built up, now I have to... I know I gotta ramp these up, so we're gonna have to come around like this. Yep, that's a good point right there. Bring that around like so. And then once that is filled, we go ahead and grab some walls, which I believe you have. Yes, you do. Perfect. And now we just have to build these up. This should be where it has to go. So now that we have this right here, let me just get you to snap correctly. Because I need that outside. Perfect. And then we just bring these up. There we go. And again, I'm going to fill these up, so don't worry about that. And now we should be able to... There we go. Now we're going to go... I think 1 is enough. Because again, I still have to keep room for a lot of creatures on the second floor. Or how many other floors there can be. So I want to say, let me just see. So there will be enough room, because essentially this is going to be the center of it. Yeah, there will be enough room for that. That's not an issue. So now what I have to do is just kind of rinse and repeat. I guess I'll go... I don't want to bring in it too far deep. I think this gap is good enough. So now I will go ahead and throw some more stairs if I can manage that, which I probably need to build it up a little more with some walls probably right here. So we need to go right there. Flip that around if we can manage. But you know what? Yeah, this is going to be the inside, so I guess it really doesn't make a difference. And now once we have that built, we should be able to ramp it up. Where's my thing? Snapping down, that's not good. I'm gonna need you to snap going upwards. So I might need to grab a couple of triangle ceilings just so that way I can do this. Because in theory, this is essentially gonna work the way I think it will. Because we go, bring it up, I think 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, 3 of them should work. Right here. And then we have the little room. So yeah, this should work out and fill up correctly. Let me go back to base and craft a few triangle ceilings, and hopefully everything's gonna line up in just a moment. All right, so here we are. We have our ceilings. Let me just put them on the hotbar so it's easier to access. I do want the gun in case things go AWire. Let me just go like this, and that I messed up, and like that. Cool. So I want to see, because I feel like what's going to happen is if I build this up and everything, it's just going to be destroyed because this angle does not look right. Let me go, not that one, this one. Then we go right here. And then moment of truth, model selector. All right, that looks pretty perfect. I like it. I do like it. And I was going to say I might just add railings to it, but it's not proper. And honestly, it's going to be covered up for the most part, this section, so you're not really going to see it. So I can live with that. So now that we have that established and fixed, let's go ahead and remove the ceiling. Going to place some more. Ooh, that was almost going to hurt. Gonna need a bit of water, and let me go ahead and build this up with some walls like here. I'm gonna have these stick out so the frame is sticking in and it won't look gross, even though again it's gonna be hidden. But just to make sure it's not visible, we're gonna make sure that it's built correctly. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do that. And we do this. And we're good. Alrighty, so now I believe, was that a trike? Never seen trikes here. If that was, probably not though. So I believe I'm doing 3, right? It goes 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's easier to highlight them like this. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Let me just put it back to you. So we go ahead and we did the 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3. Cool. I'll switch that in just a second. Let me not do that one. Let me do some more walls. Great. So since I am actually here, let me just switch them. There we go. And now we got to wall it up. So let's go and do that. So we want it, I guess right here. Is this it? And then we got to put the ceiling down. So we have to, oh, that worked out pretty good. Go right here. Right there. Why is that one sticking up high? That's not right. Well, we're not actually going to need the ceiling, so I think what happened was it snapped upwards. So I had to keep it snapped downwards, which is gonna be annoying, to say the very least. But we'll see if that is the case. Just make sure I don't pick up the wrong guys. Alright, so now that that's accomplished, now we can go and build up one of these. Like so. And then we should be pretty good to be able to wait a second. I feel like I messed up somewhere. But I gotta have them snap. Oh wait, no, I can fix that. Because what's gonna happen is right about, let me just go like right. Did that snap to the right spot? Probably not, no. Alright, let me try that again. And basically you'll see where this thing is gonna fall, or not fall, but where it's gonna stack up. There was one, and that looks good on two. Yeah, it's in that corner perfectly. Wait a second. No, I don't think so. Now we are centered. Yes. Okay, so basically this is gonna be dragged all the way around. Perfect. And now we just gonna remove these ceilings. So now we just gotta build this up, which I probably don't have enough walls, but you should have. I keep forgetting I could just grab inventory with like within you while you're, well, that sounds weird. I forgot with the Sonoma crops you could just grab inventory with ARK from its mount on you. I'm gonna need more walls. Okay then. Well, I guess I could either do this at night or wait till morning. Well, it's probably going to be morning by the time I craft all this stuff up, so I'll catch you in just a moment. Alright, so a bit of an update. I kind of wound up messing up. Not messing up like terribly, just messing up in terms of I had to scale it back a little bit, because by raising it every 3 ramps, like a new level, I wound up becoming way too far inward to the point where it would not be symmetrical with either side when I got to that point to line it up. So I wound up going with 2 instead of the 3, so that way everything is more symmetrical, because again, if I did the math correctly, you can see right here, from basically right near the edge right here by the start of it to here is 7 foundations, right? And then if you continue on, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which would get me to the middle. Now, as long as I get to this part right here, like this level all around, then that's fine, because then I can box it up and be good. If I get a little more, then I can ramp it up and make like this part the final level. Either way is fine. I just need to get the main stuff done. And then once we're done with all that on the inside, then we could fix it up to however we have to with pillars and snap it up. And hopefully not destroy it, because that would suck to redo this all again. And then I could actually get with starting each level, which would basically just be closing it off with ceilings and then decorating on the inside, and then that's pretty much it. So now that you kind of saw the process on one side, now I have the painstaking fun of doing it another 3 times, which shouldn't be as bad now that I have a system of sorts in place. It's just very tedious because of all the inner workings I have to do. So this shouldn't be an issue. Let's hope I don't regret those words. So I am finally back and happy to announce I finished this pyramid. Now I will admit I did have to kind of readjust everything for the most part all over again. Not crazy, but instead of having to stack up like every 2, I wound up having to stack up every 1. So now the pyramid of breeding, if you want to call it that, is officially up and running. Now all I have to do is really just mass breed all the creatures that I'm trying to do, which, again, just to recap, obviously you can see the Sonoma crops on my shoulder, the Dinopithecus, and the Amogosaurus, and maybe a couple others here and there that are yet to be determined. But for the most part, let me show you what I have. Now, I will say, prior to showing actually, let me just say this as a bit of a warning or disclosure, if you will. There are certain parts that, for whatever the reason, I believe mainly due to the geographical landscape, which I thought it was pretty flat terrain. Apparently, it is not in some aspects. So some parts of the building may or may not be present. Not the whole entire thing. Like, you'll see, like, 95% of this pyramid is fully built, connected, everything. But there are a couple pieces that you'll see, like, in the front. There's a little section missing. In the back, I won't really showcase it that much, but there's, like, a little corner that can't place, which literally looks like it should be able to place. But who might have called ARK devs on this building mechanic? Probably got fixed in ASA, but it is what it is for now. Then there's a couple other little things, like there's this one slope wall that's kind of inverted. I can't flip it without tearing apart the whole thing. And you'll obviously notice there's like a big open part in the middle of the pyramid on the exterior that I am leaving it as is because it looks okay. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not perfectly symmetrical to the rest of the pyramid, but if you expect me to move this entire pyramid over just to accommodate that, you're absolutely nuts. Like, this took a very, very long time to get. Like, resources, building, rebuilding, planning it. Like, I'm good with it. It fits everything I need it to fit. It'll serve the purpose I need it to serve. And without further ado, here is my pyramid. Again, everything is completely Adobe, so you'll see, like, that little bit right there. Hold on, let me... Right here, you'll see that little bit right there is kind of missing. Though I was able to get most of this. Again, there's a little bit right there. And then we just take it up to the top. And you can see this little part right here. This is that little gap that I'm talking about where the rest of the pyramid is perfectly fine. It doesn't carry over, but again, I am literally not tearing this whole thing up down just for that little piece. Like, you know what? Is it completely historically accurate? No. But I'll make it work, and it serves its purpose, like I said. Why isn't it quite bright over here? Like, lighting in this map is kind of weird at times. So as you can see, we have the stairs all set up. They're the ramps, but I just switch them to the stairs, carry them over to the edges of each one. So that looks good there. And then we go down. So it's a triple decker. So we have, like I mentioned earlier in this video, we have the small creatures at top, medium in the middle, large creatures at the bottom. So let's get in here, which I'm thinking to fix this whole area, like with the ladder, and just probably get rid of the whole hatch frame and just keep it a wall. Because realistically, like space-wise, you can see I can fit a bunch of Sonoma crops over here and over here. In terms of the medium dinos, I can kind of fit, like, you can see the problems with this. Like, it's quite difficult to get to. Wow, my nose, I don't know what my nose is bugging out on. It's probably allergies because it's finally a not rainy day for once. Yeah, so you got all the Dinopithecus here. I could obviously fit a bunch more here and on this side. And we also got all the feeding troughs. We got berries and we got meat and some chitin for the Sonoma crops up there. So I could definitely make do... Oh, yeah, I forgot. I kind of was raising some orphans from the breeding pen, not the breeding pen, the kibble pen of sorts over there, and obviously you can't see it, but they have died, so it is what it is. I wasn't really doing anything special with them. Anyway, yeah, so I might honestly just remove this, because it's quite difficult to, like, access. I'll probably have to redo the ladders prior to doing that, so yeah, I might just tear that down. And then we go to the bottom level right here. Yeah, this is definitely annoying to deal with. And the worst part, climbing up is good up until you reach the end, and then it's like you got to jump out and climb, and it's annoying. So down here we can fit a bunch of the big creatures. Now the Rex, his head kind of like just hits the ceiling, which it is what it is. I was originally raising it one level higher, this ceiling, into the medium-sized dino floor, but then the Dinopithecus couldn't fit, so I had to drop it back down, and here we are. So I'm good with this. I am content with this. Again, it's not amazing, but granted, all of the obstacles I overcame, I would say I'm very pleased with this whole thing. Like, the look of it, the size, the purpose, the functionality, like, all of that is addressed and is perfectly adaptable and usable. Okay. Did not mean to access you at all. I want to climb this ladder if it is at all possible, which this is like the problem with this. So getting up is not a problem, and then right here, this is where like it stops. So that's where I have to fly out, which is not impossible. Originally, I didn't even have any ladders and ceilings and everything. I originally was just gonna fly with the Sonoma crops all the way up, but seeing how annoying that would be and how efficient the ladders are, I think I'm just gonna opt in to keep the ladders. Again, remove the hatch frames and the trapdoors, and then just go to and fro as I please. So with that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button to show your support, as well as hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and you're coming back here for more ARK or any other gaming related channel content. Leave any comments and suggestions you have going forward for videos and things you'd like to see, whether in this series or another, or to start another, whatever. Put that down below in the comment section. But with that all being said, hope you have a great rest of your day and take care.